Well. The Denver Nuggets are just unable to get it done. Giannis Antetokounmpo goes off. Aaron Gordon does his best Jokic Murray impression, but it wasn't enough. Top two player in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo, absolutely dominates. 33 points, 14 rebounds, 22 free throws, unstoppable. Got to the paint at will. Second half, took over the game down the stretch. It was just one of those games where you get to see what makes Giannis so special as a player. Getting a chance to see him attack the rim. Again, for a lot of y'all that don't watch him, even his passing, how it's improved in the last couple of seasons. It was just a very good game. Just dominant. 3 steals as well. So just a dominant game. The Denver Nuggets, they lose this game 107-99. Nikola Jokic sits out the game on the night of a back-to-back. Jamal Murray sits out another game. Michael Porter Jr. is out another game. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope also misses the game. So tonight, the Nuggets were without 4 starters, and yet they were still able to put up a very good fight versus a Bucks team that is currently battling for the second spot with the Philadelphia 76ers. But they did their best. Given the circumstances, the Denver Nuggets did their best. They applied pressure where they could. They tried to perform. They even led at the end of the first quarter. The Nuggets got all the way up about 5 or 6 points at one point in time in this game, but they simply didn't have enough offense without their 3 best offensive players. And obviously, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope shooting 47% from 3. So what my takeaway is that the Denver Nuggets are the deepest they've ever been. Tonight, the Denver Nuggets running out Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, Blako Chanchar, Aaron Gordon, and Zeke Naji. And that lineup, they didn't do all that bad. Now, that lineup tonight, Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon played 37 minutes after playing a bunch of minutes yesterday. He had 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists on 10 of 24 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 blocks. He's actually a +5. So Gordon won its minutes. Some of that was in the late kind of garbage time. Not really garbage. The Nuggets were down like 15, then 12, and then they came back. AG hit a couple threes tonight as well. So 26, 14, and 4 from AG. Bruce Brown. Matter of fact, let me update this because I put a graphic out, and it looks like the NBA has changed some of the stats. So Aaron Gordon actually ended up having 26 and 14 and 4. Originally, they said 26, 13 and 4. So an even better stat line from Aaron Gordon tonight. But let me see here. Aaron Gordon had a decent game. Bruce Brown had 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists, 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He was a +1 as well. Christian Brown, 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, -3. Zeke Naji, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 block and 2 steals, -2. And then Blako, 9, 4, and 3, 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 block, and a -8. -8. So the starters, they did their best. Tonight the Denver Nuggets only shot 39% from the field and 32% from the three-point line. They shot 75% from the free throw line as well. So they only got 16 attempts. So the Nuggets were trying to shot chuck at one point in time. But again, legitimately, you're without 4 of your 5 best shooters. Basically 4 of your 7 best shooters if you want to put Blako and all that. But if you want to do volume, I think Porter's still the best shooter on the team. KCP right after that, Murray after that, and then Jokic shooting 38% from 3. So you didn't have your scorers. You didn't have your back-to-back MVP, your favorite to win again this year. And then on top of that, you didn't have Jamal Murray averaging 22, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and he's shooting basically 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and 90% from the line over the last 16 games. And then obviously with KCP, you missed your best perimeter defender, and then on top of that, him or Bruce, and then you missed your best 3-point shooter by the numbers on the season. So it kind of went how you expected with that. But I love with the fact that the Denver Nuggets were able to play as hard as they did. I was really impressed with the amount of effort that they put into this game and what they were able to actually try to make happen. When you're playing against Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton, who just got back, And then on top of that, Brook Lopez, who actually, I think that obviously Giannis was really good. But yeah, man, um, Brook Lopez was excellent. Brook Lopez had only 5, 4, and 2 tonight, but he was a plus 14, which led them tonight. He was excellent. He was really good. The defense is really good. Only 211 from the offensive line, but defensively he was excellent. Just 4 blocks tonight. Drew Holiday had another good game. 25 and 3, 9 of 22 of 4. He was a minus 3-0, but he was still good. Pat Connaughton tonight, 19, 12, and 2. 7 of 8, 5 of 6 from 3, 2 steals. He was a plus 5. And then, like I said, Giannis was a plus 10 tonight. Grayson only had 7, 5, and 1 on 2 of 6. But the bench won. Joe Ingles won his minutes plus 6. Wesley Matthews plus 6. Chris Middleton plus 8. And Javon Carter plus 3 tonight. So, again, man, I think that given the circumstances, you just got to take it away. Now, the Nuggets are still sitting at the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Warriors and Grizzlies are playing right now. But, I think that the Warriors can pull this one out. The Nuggets are 2 games above the Grizzlies right now in first place. And so I think one thing, too, that people can kind of settle into the idea that one of the reasons the Nuggets were so comfortable in sitting everybody because of where they are in the standings. Right now, they have a 2.5 game cushion going into tonight's game. Jokic had a hamstring thing. Murray played 40 minutes the other night. He played 2 back-to-back so far. Michael Porter Jr. has obviously had the family situation. And then KCP has played basically 47 to 48 games, I think. So they just wanted to get everybody some rest. And, I was really upset with the NBA as well as many of you were because I think Giannis is my second favorite player to watch. And, I was trolling a lot on Twitter tonight because I think I've just been frustrated. I've been frustrated because I wanted to watch this game for basically since we saw them at the World Cup qualifier. And Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic have won your 4 of your last 4 MVPs. And again, one of those 2 players I think is going to win the 5th. I think it's going to be, Jokic or Luka or Tatum right now or Embiid, but Giannis could get right back into that conversation. But for them, the NBA, to have 2 of your best players, consensus, the last 4 MVP winners of your league, and for you to put the Denver Nuggets on a back-to-back in New Orleans, 1,100 miles away, and then to have them play a showcase, which you put on local television, you don't put on TNT or ESPN. You choose the Memphis Grizzlies and the Warriors over this matchup, and you choose the Nets and the 76ers, all because of narrative. But you have actually 2 basketball teams, number 1 in the West, number 3 in the East. And you have an opportunity to see them on display, put them on national television, give them a day of rest going into the game, and you choose not to do that. I think it's ridiculous. And guess what? Nuggets and Bucks fans, if you are watching this, when Giannis comes to Denver, he's going to have to come off the back-to-back in Utah. That back-to-back is one of the worst, if not the worst, in the NBA because of the altitude. If you play a lot of heavy minutes in Utah and it's a game, then you got to come back and play in Denver. There is a chance that we don't get to see this game. There is a chance that we don't get to see Jokic and Giannis play this season in the regular season. I think that's utterly ridiculous. I think that is crazy. And again, I was in conversation with people before this, and people were saying that, well, the NBA cares about narrative and cares about the storyline. You got to sell the product and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, dog, teach your people how to watch basketball. If you can't watch Jokic and Giannis and enjoy a basketball game, then you don't need to be watching basketball. If you think that Giannis is boring, you don't need to be watching basketball. He dominated. He does what he's supposed to do, and he leads his team, and he's an NBA Finals champion. Jokic is on pace to win 3 straight MVPs. He's one of the best offensive players ever. By the time he retired, he may be the greatest offensive player that touched the NBA court. Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan. But for the NBA to then say that we're just going to put this conversation somewhere else, put this game somewhere else, it's just wild to me. It really is wild to me. So I'm really disappointed with how the NBA decided to go about this. I just wish that the league did a better job of marketing this game. I wish that the NBA cared more about this game. And I wish that the NBA did what it was supposed to do in marketing 2 of his best players in the NBA. At least 2 of his 3, because I think if you want to put consensus, I think Steph is in there. I think Luka is right behind them. So it's just really frustrating. It's really frustrating that happened that way, because you got a chance to see. And I listen, I listen to the other team's color commentator, because I always want to hear what they have to say about the game. And they were very upset as well. Upset, not angry, but upset that you didn't get this chance to see the Milwaukee Bucks measure themselves up against an elite team in the NBA, maybe the best team in the league as of late. And then you got a chance to see Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and everything. And then you could have had them going against a fully healthy Nuggets team almost with Michael Porter Jr. if he would have played or not. But you didn't get that. So now, obviously, Denver Nuggets have to wait till Saturday. And so the good news is that, let me look at this real quick. Jokic played in the Timberwolves game. So by the time they play against the 76ers, Jokic will have played in 1 basketball game since the 18th of January. He'll play in 1 basketball game since the 18th of January. So that's really important for fatigue and for rest. And then obviously with the hamstring, with the wrist, they just found a nice window to be able to say, Jokic, we're going to give you a game on the 18th. You're going to play 1 more time. You're not going to play again. So basically 7 days to 8 days of rest in between the Timberwolves game, the Pelicans game last night, and then the 76ers game coming up on Saturday. That's really important. That's really important. So that means that Jokic, let me see here. So he had the 19th off, the 20th off, the 21st off, the 22nd off, the 23rd off, played the 24th, the 25th off, the 26th off, and the 27th off. 8 days of rest. 8 days of rest between 2 games. So that's huge. And then on top of that, he obviously has the All-Star break in that he'll be playing in. But that, I think, is going to really help him and just help his maintenance as the season goes on. The Denver Nuggets, he's missed 7 games now. He missed 3 because of COVID. He's missed 4 because of injuries. But the good news is they found a really good window. So I actually really like this by them, just because, again, he doesn't need to play. If he could play 72 games this year, that would be great. 70 games this year, that would also be great. And the reason is it's simply because, just where he is right now, again, you're trying to compete to win the West, and you're trying to make sure that you have him fully healthy and the rest of your team fully healthy by then. So that was a good strategy if that was their strategy. But looking at it, it sounds like that could have been a part of their strategy. But the Denver Nuggets play again against the 76ers on the 28th, and that's going to be a really big game. I think I'm having a pregame special I'll do for that one. But like I said, I'm just disappointed that we didn't get to see Giannis and Jokic. That's the big thing. I'm really proud of how they fought and the effort they put into today, but I'm really disappointed that we did not get to see that. Because when they played in the World Cup qualifier, the world was watching, and it was a spectacular game, and they played very hard. And so to rob the NBA of that opportunity because of back-to-back scheduling and all that, it just doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. It was a good game for the Nuggets. They tried their best. The Bucks, were just a better team tonight. Again, they won by 8. But, I think the Bucks also had to make an adjustment because they didn't expect probably to have to play a game without 4 starters in it. But, it was a good game all around. So everyone stayed healthy, thank goodness. But hit the like button, hit the like button. We have more videos coming up in between this and the 76ers game, y'all. But it's going to be a great game. Hey, I will see y'all soon.